Okay, so I actually made this video, or at least I thought I did, and posted it on my channel, but I just realized I went back and it's not there. So I thought I would take a moment to go through it again. This is a website that I found several months ago after after going through that rough patch with the last call center job and struggling so much. It's something that I just haven't done, and you would think that being somebody who is dyslexic, I would know all about it because I live it every day. But there's just something about doing research and understanding certain things that are due to my dyslexia and not realizing that it's common. And I just wanted to kind of go through it and talk about it a little bit. This is an article on the website talking about common characteristics of adult dyslexics. And yeah, I learned a lot. This section was interesting just because employment has been one thing that has created quite a issue for me over the last year. And so all these things kind of make sense to me now. But the fact that it's common to be employed in job positions that will hide difficulties or not require dealing with problematic areas, that is head on. And I think the thing that I've struggled with the most the past 9 months is that I'm finding it difficult to find a position that is going to hide those difficulties. I just received an offer from a job that is absolutely not going to hide my difficulties, and it's scaring me to death because you don't want people to think that you're stupid. You don't want people to think that, oh, you're just uneducated and you're not very intelligent. And it's just like with spelling, I can't help it. It's just not something that I am good at or will ever be good at, and I don't think that I could teach myself at this point. I don't think it's something that can be taught. But anyway, hiding those difficulties, yeah, absolutely. Coworkers, friends, not so much family for me. I mean, pretty much most of my family knows. It's actually kind of hard to hide it from your family, so not really. Of course, hide it from coworkers and a lot of friends. For me, it's not so much friends either, because a lot of the friends that I still have, I have from high school. And I actually went to a high school that kind of catered around kids with learning disabilities, so most of the friends I have are dyslexic. So, becoming frustrated at planning meetings and sequential tasks. Yes. Very much. I do struggle with that sort of thing. Absolutely. Becoming frustrated or overwhelmed with long forms of sequential processes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I do well in a job where I can multitask, kind of step away from something for a little bit and come back to it. Which is another thing about this job I just received is not going to be a thing. I mean, this is going to be a very repetitive, doing the same thing. And while in some sense I like that too, just knowing what I'm doing and just doing it, there are aspects that I would love to be able to just take a break and, go be productive in a different area, And that's part of what I loved about my last job. FYI, I was able to do that. So, becomes frustrated or overwhelmed with, okay, I just already read that. Sorry. Thrives in careers with visual, spatial, kinesthetic. I'm assuming that's what that word is. Talents can be realized. for example, are entrepreneurs, engineers, trades, carpentry, plumbing, electrical, artisans, interior decorating, actors, musicians, police investigation, athletes. None of those sound like something I would enjoy doing, except maybe the investigation. But yeah, that's not something I'm trained in or have been schooled in, so that's not even an option. But I guess anything artistic, creative, would be good for me. So I definitely agree with that. May pass up promotions or advancement opportunities that would require more administrative work. Yep, done it in the past. I really don't like the idea of being somebody in charge anyway. Not so much just because of the administrative work. But I just kind of like to be given work to do and to do it, and just, yeah, that's just how I am. Has difficulty focusing and staying on task. May feel more comfortable managing many different tasks. Yep, I just talked about that, actually. I'm going to have to figure out a way around it with this job, because I'm going to have to stay on task 8 hours a day. Difficulty with test. Well, what do you know? Yep, absolutely. I think that's part of the reason it's taken me 9 months to find a job, is because most of those jobs require testing. The fact that I don't even know how I did on the test that I did for this job. I think one of the reasons that I did okay is a lot of it was multiple choice, and the rest of it was typing, and typing is actually something that I can do. So that's good. Highly successful, overachiever, or considered not working up to potential. I definitely fall into the not working up to potential, unfortunately. But I do have extreme work ethic, so maybe a perfectionist and overreact when they make a mistake. Yep, I get such horrible anxiety, and I tend to cry a lot when I make a mistake. I've got to figure out a way around that. Learns best through hands-on experience, demonstrations, experimentation, observation, and visual aids. Yes, this is very true. And it just started raining outside. I was kind of hoping the rain was over. It's been raining for about a week now. So generally, we're highly intuitive, known to have street smarts, often dead on in judging personalities of others. Very, very true. Unfortunately, too true sometimes, because, just being intuitive and sensitive to things can make for living with a raw nerve sometimes. Maybe, I guess that, sense the emotions and energies of others. Yes, that's something I've always been good at, and it's been a blessing and a curse. Remember struggling in school? I do remember struggling in school. Frequently have dyslexic children. I do not have children, so that was not something I passed down. However, my father is dyslexic, so it was passed down to moi. Easily distracted, annoyed by noises and other things in the environment. Absolutely. I'm very sensitive to noise. I'm very sensitive to especially loud noises. So this is definitely true for me. May appear to zone out and be unaware that it is happening. Yep. Video games. I've never really been that into video games. There have been a handful of games that I've really enjoyed and will play kind of obsessively. I tend to stick more on my phone. Play games on my phone. Computer games. I like Sims, so I guess that counts as a video game, I guess. This is a big one. This is massive for me right here. Misspeaks, misuses, or mispronounces words without realizing it. Yes. Oh my God, yes. May have poor balance or is very athletic. Definitely fall into the poor balance. Yep. May have excellent recall of events that were experienced or not remember at all. Man, I wish I fell into the excellent recall, but that's just not me. I don't remember anything. which can, I don't know, I get sad about that sometimes. May confuse past conversations or be accused of not listening. Yep. Yep, that's true. Difficulty remembering names of people without tricks, but remembering faces. Hate it. I hate that I cannot remember people's names. And it's always embarrassing, you know, like, especially if it's somebody that you've known for a while. Like, for example, we have a guy that comes out and he does, like, our yard work and stuff. And I really like him, and I just can't remember his name, and it's always embarrassing to have to ask him after knowing him for so long. So, yeah, that's really frustrating. Difficulty remembering verbal instructions or directions. Yes, I wish, yes. I try really hard. I work really hard on this one, you know, especially now that my job is going to require me to take a lot of verbal verbal direction. Poor recall of conversations or sequence of events. Yes, this is another thing that's going to really affect me in my new job, because I'm going to be taking notations from calls, and but I'm hoping, because it'll be kind of something that happens in the moment, that this won't be such a big deal for me. If I had to do it, like, let's say I take a call and don't immediately document everything that's said and have to come back, you know, 5 minutes later and do it, no, that would not be good. Difficulty reading unfamiliar fonts. I think this is true to an extent. Absolutely. Avoids reading out loud, may dislike public speaking. I actually don't really struggle too terribly much with reading out loud. However, I do, when I struggle with making out a word or don't know a word, that's of course embarrassing. So, will commonly perceive that they read better silently. I read the same as I do, you know, reading out loud. So, has adopted compensatory tricks to remember spelling and homonyms, there, or misuses. This I'm pretty solid on. Spelling tricks? I'm trying to think if I have any. No, I'm really, my spelling just sucks. Yeah. Reading fluency and comprehension fluctuate depending on subject matter. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Frequently has to reread sentences in order to comprehend. Yep. That's what slows me down most of the time. It's not so much that it's the reading itself. It's the comprehension that slows me down. Having to go back and reread. Please forgive me. My allergies are bad. Fatigues or becomes bored quickly while reading. Yes, and this so sad because I love books. I love stories. I love to read. And I'll open up a book to read, and literally within the first 10 or 15 minutes, I'm like falling asleep. So, and I hate that because, you know, I really do. I enjoy stories. I enjoy books. Reliance on others for written correspondence. Yes, unfortunately. Uncertainty with words, punctuation, and spelling when writing. Reliance on spell check and grammar check. Well, yeah. I would be lost without Grammarly. Words out of context look wrong. Yeah. Poor handwriting masks spelling mistakes. I learned this trick early. I can remember being in school and just like, yeah. And I do this like, even like in my personal like diaries and journals, like if I don't know how to spell a word, that's why I think I don't handwrite in diaries and journals anymore, because I hate that I can't spell. I hate that I get to a word and I'm like, how in the world do you spell that word? So it's just easier to use computer programs that have the spell check. Writes in all caps or mixes capital letters with words abbreviates words frequently. I don't really do this. I don't write in all caps or mix capital letters within words. I don't. I guess I abbreviate some. Typically, what I do if I don't know how to spell a word, or I get hung up on a word, I just find a different word that I know how to spell. So, math and time management and directions. Oh, good lordy. I actually don't understand higher math, unfortunately. I did not excel in math, but I do rely on tricks for remembering math facts. I depend on calculators, and yes, I still use my fingers to count. I'm 40, by the way. I do have a little bit of difficulty making change. If I worked in a job where you had to like spontaneously know how much change to give somebody back, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I would have to have a calculator. Difficulty with left, right, and or north, south, east, and west. Left and right, not so much all the time. Only sometimes, specifically when I'm driving. Because, there's tricks. You have tricks. I write with my right hand, therefore that is always right, and of course left. North, south, east, and west, never. I've never, I have to have somebody tell me which way is which. I do get lost easily, and I absolutely positively cannot read a map. When I use the GPS to get places, I depend mostly on the spoken direction. I can't, the only thing, I'll look at the GPS whenever it tells me to turn left or right, but as far as reading the actual map, I can't do it. Anxiety and stress when driving in unfamiliar places. This is something that is horrible for me. Absolutely horrible. If I don't have to drive, I will not do it. So this is like me. This is like a description of me that everybody knows. Lose track of time, is frequently late, or highly aware of it and is rarely late. I fall into the highly aware. I'm super vigilant, and I overcompensate, and I'm generally ridiculously early, as opposed to being late. Finds it difficult to estimate how long a task will take to complete. I do struggle with this sometimes. That's why I just like the being on time thing. I tend to overcompensate, giving myself plenty of extra time. Short fuse, easily frustrated, angered, and annoyed. Yep. Easily stressed and overwhelmed in certain situations. Yes. Low self-esteem. Yes. Self-conscious when speaking in group. May have difficulty getting thoughts out. Pauses frequently. Speak in halting phrases, or leave sentences incomplete. This may worsen with stress or distraction. Oh my gosh. This, is the epitome of me right here. This is the one thing that, and it... Yes. All I can say is yes. And it's funny because my father, who is also dyslexic, who was never technically diagnosed being dyslexic, but totally is, he does this. He leaves his sentences incomplete when he's speaking. And he has done this my entire life. And my mother just finishes his sentences for him most of the time. Or we have to encourage him to finish his thoughts. Okay, sticks to what they know. Fear of new tasks or any situation where they are out of comfort zone. Yes. yes. Extremely disorderly or compulsively orderly. Okay, so I fall into both categories. I know that sounds strange. Generally in my living, just my everyday life, I am extremely disorderly. When I'm at work, I am compulsively orderly. I stay extremely organized, and I work very hard at it. I guess because of that, that's why I'm extremely disorderly at home, because that's my nature. That's definitely my nature. Confusion, stress, physical health issues, time pressures, and fatigue will significantly increase the symptoms. Yes. 100% yes. So there you go. They just wrote a description of me right here. This is everything you want to know about me. And apparently it's everything you want to know about other people who are dyslexic. So I just found this really helpful, and helpful mainly in the sense that I was able to say to, friends and loved ones who are having a hard time understanding what I'm going through right now. Read this. This is it. This is why I am the way that I am. This is not abnormal for somebody with dyslexia. So it just helps me kind of feel better educating other people in my life who have to deal with me on a daily basis. So I thought I would share just in case anybody else would be interested. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.